Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Let's get to the news in detail. Upon reviewing reports pertaining to the audit of 460 million US dollars ExxonMobil claimed was spent prior to the discovery of oil in 2015, a reliable source has deemed the findings to be an abomination. In fact, the source urged Kaieteur to challenge the government to make the audit report public as it would expose how many loopholes have been left unaddressed. Following the audit, a final report was awaiting comments from ExxonMobil for some time, but those have since been received. The source said it is quite saddening, especially in the interest of transparency and accountability, that the government has been silent about the results thus far. The reputable industry stakeholder, who is also a trusted advisor to the administration, further noted that the political opposition should utilize the powers of special selected committees on natural resources to demand answers on these audits, which will cost Guyanese taxpayers billions of dollars. And in other news, having mined out the gold from what is considered the minimal subsurface area in the Hicks and Spearpoint pits of the Karooni gold mine, Australian-owned Troy Resources has upped the ante with regards to firing locals in order to use expatriates to focus on an underground mining operation. This much is evident from the recent circular disseminated to local employees attached to the mines. The circular to employees was signed by the mine's general manager, Colin Connors, a week ago, and sought to address the discussion and uncertainty about the future of the company and the employees. And moving on, much like the case of the Amila Falls hydroelectric project, the publicly touted price tag had always excluded, prior to being exposed by Kaieteur, that GPL would have had to incur its own spending to complement the project. The same obtains this time around with the much vaunted gas-to-shore energy initiative being pursued by the Guyana government along with Stabroek Block operator ESSO. This much is evident in a report commissioned by the Inter-American Development Bank into the feasibility of the proposed project, estimated at $900 million US. The EPA is currently conducting scoping exercises following an application by ESSO for environmental authorization to proceed with the construction of the pipeline from the Liza field. Additionally, the government is currently seeking private partners with which to proceed with the onshore aspects of the project through a joint initiative, technically referred to as a public-private partnership. And now let's tell you, attacks by Venezuelan gangs on Guyanese, most of them miners, plying their trade in the Cuyuni River, have increased to the point where they are reportedly being threatened to make forced payments. Commander of the Region 7 District, Dion Moore, during an interview on Tuesday with the Deputy Director of the Corporate Communications Unit of the Police Force, Stan Gavaya, said that the gangs would stop Guyanese vessels and demand payments. Moore mentioned that on some occasions they would threaten them as well to make the payments. The commander revealed that the two gangs involved in the attacks on Guyanese are the Sindicatos and the Guerrillas. These two gangs operate from the Venezuela shore mainly in the Eterengbang, Macapa, and Caruchi areas along the Cuyuni River. In order to counter the attacks, the commander detailed that joint river patrols conducted by ranks and members of the GDF have been increased in the area. In other news, the actions of the Guyana Energy Agency continue to come under scrutiny, now with an international banker with investments in the local petroleum industry publicly expressing concerns and a U.S. citizen with investments locally calling on the U.S. ambassador to intervene. We, over the past week, reported on a number of questionable practices being employed by the agency with responsibility for the monitoring of fuel imports into the country and the licensing of dealers in their various classes. The Energy Agency, in a public missive on Monday, sought to clear the air on just one of the issues raised by Kaieteur out of a series of articles alleging skullduggery at the least. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you Peter Christian, a teacher attached to the Karasabai Primary School, was found dead late Sunday night in his home with several marks of violence about his body. The 31-year-old's lifeless body was discovered around 22 hours at his Karasabai Region 9 home by his stepfather with whom he resided. According to police, Christian's father, Rudy Christian, reported to them that around 17 hours that day he had returned home from an outing with his son and his son had complained that he was not feeling too well. After talking with his son, the man said that he went to sleep. The elder Christian further told police that around 22 hours when he woke up, he checked for his son and found him lying naked on the concrete floor. And that's the news of the moment.